Hello everyone, it's your web novel guy back again. Today I'm sharing my personal top 10 web novels. And these are not just random picks. These are all stories that I have actually read deeply, either to 400 plus chapters or all the way to completion. This ranking is 100% based on my own experience and enjoyment. But before we jump into the list, if you're enjoying these kinds of recommendations, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. It really helps me a lot. Alright, let's get started. 1. The Revenge of the Soul Eater. Sora Mitsurugi was supposed to be the next head of one of the most prestigious sword families in the Empire, the clan entrusted by the Emperor himself to guard the Demon Gate. To claim that position, every heir must pass the family's sacred trial. Awaken a powerful spirit sword in front of the entire Mitsurugi household and prove they're worthy of inheriting the legendary Phantom Blade style. All 7 other candidates his age had already succeeded. Sora was the last one. On the day of his trial, with his father, older brother, fiancé, and the people who raised him all watching, he stepped forward, and nothing happened. No spirit sword appeared. He couldn't even sense the slightest trace of one. His father's verdict was cold and final. A Mitsurugi without a spirit sword has no place in the family. In a single afternoon, Sora lost everything. His position as heir, his home, his fiancée, who was immediately reassigned to his cousin, the respect of the household, and even the bare minimum care from the people he once thought of as family. His cousin, the same person who used to torment him, took his place as the new heir. Cast out and alone, Sora left the island and drifted to a neighboring kingdom. He tried to start over as an adventurer, but with no power, no talent, and no prospects, he ended up as nothing more than the luggage carrier for Adventurer Party, the guy everyone looked down on. Then came the betrayal. During a dangerous mission, the party abandoned him to die, leaving him bleeding out in the dark. Right at the edge of death, something finally answered. The strongest sword spirit, the one no Mitsurugi had ever awakened, chose him. Now Sora is back. No longer the powerless boy they threw away. He has the blade, the style, and the resolve to make every single person who discarded him regret it. 2. Dear, it's time for your medicine. He was just an ordinary guy from the modern world, until the day he was suddenly summoned to a fantasy realm as the hero destined to save it. Except, he wasn't the first one they summoned. The original hero had already died. The kingdom quietly replaced him with our protagonist, the second hero, the backup plan. They never told him the full truth. They never gave him a real chance. The previous hero's party, the beautiful holy maiden, the loyal knights, the companions everyone still idolized, never accepted him. To them, he was a pale imitation, a disappointment wearing the title that once belonged to their perfect, fallen champion. So instead of helping him grow stronger, they used him. Day after day, the pure and gentle holy maiden came to treat his wounds after battles. She brought medicine with a soft smile, and slowly, carefully poisoned him. Little by little, they needed his life force. They needed his body. The plan was simple and brutal. Sacrifice the replacement hero to resurrect the one they actually loved. In the end, they succeeded. He died in agony, betrayed by every person he had tried to trust. But death wasn't the end. He opened his eyes again, back at the very moment he was first summoned. Now he knows everything. He remembers every fake smile, every whispered insult, every drop of poison, every lie. This time, he's not playing their game. What follows is one of the most cleanly executed revenge arcs you'll find in this genre. No dragged-out whining, no pointless forgiveness. Every single person who looked down on him, used him, and ultimately killed him gets exactly what they deserve, delivered with cold precision and growing satisfaction. 3. You don't know what you've got until it's gone. Hinata has a childhood friend he's known for years. They grew up side by side, and deep down, he always believed they would stay together. He never confessed his feelings, but in his heart, he thought their bond was unbreakable. Then one night, everything changes. His childhood friend calls him, excited and happy, to tell him she has a boyfriend. She even asks him to support her. For Hinata, it's a shock he wasn't prepared for. What he thought was mutual turns out to be one-sided. Trying to avoid her and sort out his feelings, He begins spending time alone on the school rooftop. That's where he meets another girl, someone with a bad reputation at school, misunderstood and judged by others. Slowly, they start talking. What begins as simple conversations turns into something deeper. Hinata gradually heals, and without even realizing it, he starts moving on from his first crush. Meanwhile, his childhood friend begins to feel uneasy. Hinata is no longer by her side like before. Her new relationship starts to fall apart, and only then does she begin to understand her true feelings. Feelings she realized too late. For too many losing heroines, Kazuhiko Nukumizu has always been the background character in class. Quiet, unnoticed, and perfectly fine with it. But one day, he witnesses something unexpected. The school's popular girl, Anna Yanami, getting rejected by a guy. Her reason for feeling wronged. We promised to get married when we were 4. Yeah, that doesn't really count, right? Soon, Kazuhiko finds himself crossing paths with other losing heroines like Rimen Yakishio from the track team and Chika Komari from the literature club. Girls who didn't win the love story they were aiming for. As Anna puts it, there are 2 types of girls, childhood friends and cheating cats. What follows is a strange, charming, and heartfelt coming-of-age tale where the so-called losers just might shine the brightest. This is McCain, the tale of the losing heroines. 5. I was supposed to never fall in love with you. Yasuki is just your average, unremarkable high schooler. The kind of boy who blends into the background of everyday life at his prefectural school in Minami-so Chiba. His days pass in muted tones until one night changes everything. During a study camp before summer vacation, Yasuki lends a helping hand to Kaoka Emma, the most beautiful and admired girl in school. From that moment, something shifts. Emma begins to show interest in him, but only outside of school. In class, she acts as if they're strangers, maintaining the invisible social line between a plain glasses boy and a flashy, popular girl. What follows is a subtle, emotional dance of distance and closeness. A story about 2 people from different worlds quietly reaching out to one another. It's not about grand gestures, but fleeting glances, whispered conversations, and the aching uncertainty of young love that might never bloom in the open. 6. Global Life Lottery. Only I can choose the rewards. In this web novel, an apocalyptic game has descended upon the world, and now lifespan is the only currency that matters. Monsters drop mysterious fate roulette wheels, and to spin them, players must sacrifice years of their lives. Some spend 10 years and receive powerful rewards, while others gamble away 1,000 years only to get worthless trash in return. The main character, after saving up an incredible 1 million years of lifespan to spin the rare golden roulette wheel, is suddenly engulfed in a blinding golden light and reborn at the very beginning of the apocalypse. This time, however, he gains a powerful ability, the power to directly choose his rewards instead of gambling. This web novel is an exciting and addicting read. The MC seems to be constantly surrounded by danger, like the whole world is against him, but he always has a trump card up his sleeve. The story features expansive world building, a high-stakes apocalyptic setting, and a main character with cheat-like abilities. If you enjoy apocalypse survival stories with clever, overpowered protagonists and a richly developed world, this one definitely won't disappoint. 7. The Immortal Emperor is still trying to chill in the city today. Shen Yan was once the ultimate slacker of the Cultivation world. While others trained hard, fought, and died young, he quit early only to accidentally rise all the way to Immortal Emperor. Somehow, he even ended up running a sect and died grinding himself to death under a brutal 996 schedule. But fate had other plans. Shen Yan reincarnated not into another Cultivation world, but straight into the modern era, right in the middle of his own wedding ceremony. When he learns his fiancée ran away with another man, Shannon is ready to ditch the marriage. After all, he's the former Immortal Emperor. Why be a live-in son-in-law? But when he discovers the Shah family is worth billions with luxury cars and mansions lined up, suddenly the role doesn't sound so bad. 8. After defying the villain's fate for 9 lifetimes, the heroines turn mad. In this web novel, Jang Chun is transmigrated into a fantasy novel world, straight into the role of the villainous senior brother. With no cheat system or golden finger to rely on, he chooses not to become canon fodder. Instead, he lives through 9 lifetimes, constantly reincarnating and doing everything he can to be a righteous and upright senior brother. But fate is cruel. No matter how hard he tries, he's always given the villain aura, causing others to misunderstand, hate, and betray him over and over again. So, in his 10th life, Jiang Qin finally gives up. His heart turns cold. If heaven insists he must play the villain, he decides he won't resist anymore. Jin Shan says, "Since heaven wants me to be a villain, why should I defy it?" He stops being kind. He stops trying to explain himself. Everyone around him continues to misunderstand him, including his master and fellow disciples. Meanwhile, the so-called protagonist, the one destined to ascend, begins slaughtering everyone, even using Jiang Chen's martial siblings and master to kill him. But this time, something changes. People start regaining memories of their past lives. Memories of how Jiang Chen sacrificed everything to protect them and how the hero they trusted is actually the true monster. This is a powerful regret-type web novel filled with emotional payback, tragic misunderstanding, and the eventual truth being revealed. If you enjoy stories where the people who wronged the MC suffer the weight of guilt and regret once the truth comes out, this one will absolutely hit the mark. 9. I decided to abandon the traitors who planned to use and dispose of me, the hero, at the last moment. In this web novel, every member of the hero's party, including the MC's childhood sweetheart, ends up getting seduced by a trashy, manipulative prince. So, just when they're on the brink of victory against the Demon Lord, the MC flips the script and refuses to deal the final blow. Instead of saving the kingdom, he lets the Demon Lord live and walks away. What happens next? The Demon Lord revives his army and starts attacking the kingdom again. And now, with no hero left to protect it, the kingdom is completely helpless while the MC is out there relaxing and enjoying life. This is a short, punchy revenge story and honestly very satisfying to read. I saw a great review that called it a revenge story with the boys against some evil bee, and I couldn't agree more. If you're in the mood for a fast-paced, no-nonsense revenge web novel where the traitors get exactly what they deserve, definitely give this one a shot. 10. A Night of Desperation. The outside world is crawling with monstrous shadows, unkillable, relentless, and terrifying. Faced with such horror, Yu Hong has only one wish: to stay inside his safe house forever. But survival in this world isn't that simple. After dying in his sleep on Earth, Yu Hong transmigrates to Baika Village, a nightmare-like realm infested with endless monsters and immortal phantoms. Fear is constant, death feels inevitable, and the darkness beyond the walls never truly rests. What sets him apart, however, is a mysterious black mark, a power that allows him to strengthen objects, weapons, and even skills. With every upgrade, Yu Hong pushes back against despair. Rather than charging recklessly into danger, he takes a smarter path. He fortifies his surroundings, enhances his tools, and slowly transforms his modest safe house into an absolutely secure zone, a rare sanctuary in a world ruled by shadows. Each improvement feels hard-earned. Each moment outside the walls a gamble with death. That's my top 10 list for today. I really hope you found at least one web novel or light novel here that interests you. If you enjoyed the video, or if you're curious about more recommendations, whether it's cultivation, isekai, romance, system stories, dark fantasy, or anything else, just drop a comment below telling me what genres or types of stories you want to see next. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.